Hi, my name is John Renz. I'm here to talk about internet infidelity. In the past, the archetypal tryst would begin at work and end in a secluded hotel, but with online reaching 1.7 billion people, the seemingly infinite extent of the internet is transporting infidelity into the homes of many couples. Of course, people use the internet for a variety of reasons, ranging from seeking information to seeking like-minded individuals for friendship and romance. You are probably familiar with popular online social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and MySpace. The racy chat room talk and cybersex accompanying the use of social media has led to a reconsideration of the definition of infidelity. It is still cheating if the people involved have not met or there is actual physical sexual activity. In other words, the virtual activities that establish internet infidelity seems relatively vague. These activities can range from sexual texts or emails with someone who is not your partner, to looking at pornography or an emotional relationship that excludes your partner, even though it is totally online. According to Catherine Herdlin, an associate professor at the University of Nevada, whose area of expertise involves cyber cheating, she says, it is not just that you are communicating with someone online, but that there is sexual or emotional nature. With the internet, we're moving away from just physical ideas about infidelity and acknowledging emotional infidelity. Even though there is no standard definition of internet infidelity, it is often characterized by intimate online conversations and erotically stimulating texts and messages, or virtual sex, which may include photos and videos, the sharing of which has generated a new term called sex texting. At this point, you might ask, how will I know if my partner is having an online affair? According to marriage counselor M. Gary Newman, the following behaviors should arouse suspicion your partner might be having an online affair. Because like offline affairs, secrecy is a hallmark of an online affair. For example, does your spouse shut down chat windows when you enter the room? Does he or she delete their online history? Does your partner pretend to be doing something work-related when he or she is actually texting or emailing someone? Does your partner include you as a Facebook friend and his or her relationship status? Related to the secrecy is the hiding of devices. If the tablet or laptop is usually left in a particular space, but now you never see it, be suspicious. The same applies to a phone that your partner usually leaves on the desk or nightstand, but is never left in sight anymore, even when they are bathing. Another definite sign is if your spouse changes his or her password and won't share the new password with you. Also, a red flag is an empty inbox. If the trash file is suddenly clean, this should set off alarm bells. If your spouse is erasing copious communication, there's probably something he or she does not want you to know. Finally, denial of an obvious can be a sign. If you note that your partner is on the computer a lot and receives a firm denial as a response, it's probably an indication of guilt. Otherwise, why should they protest? There could be a legitimate reason for being on the computer more than usual that is harmless. So why not say so? Let your partner know. It is not known whether individuals who cheat online would cheat in the real world if there was no internet. However, researchers have identified what have been called the 7 A's of internet use related to intimacy problems for couples that can lead to internet infidelity. The first is anonymity, whereby the individual can hide their identity and true purpose if they wish. Obviously, there is much more difficult to do it in person where their appearance, age, or ethnicity, verbal or nonverbal behavior can be observed. The second aspect is accessibility. Individuals can access the internet from a wide variety of sites, including their own home, their place of work, employment, internet cafes, cell phones, and tablets. These access points enable a paramour to remain in contact with his or her lover all day without arousing suspicion from partners, friends, or colleagues. The third A is affordability. The only expense is paying the service charge for a connection and the use of the internet from a service provider. In addition, the internet is also used for other activities. So there is no money trail indicating extracurricular activities as would be seen with receipts for dinner, movies, clubs, and other entertainment that might be of interest. A fourth A, which you may or may not dispute, is approximation, which suggests that online activities comes close to the quality of real-world activity. According to this concept, virtual sexual activity distorts the line between fantasy and action. In other words, individuals can meet a need without actually committing an act. A fantasy can be lived without guilt because one is not actually cheating. According to another A, acceptability, activity that has been deemed inappropriate in the real world, such as viewing pornography, has become acceptable online. The two final A's, as included, is ambiguity and accommodation. As suggested at the beginning of this presentation, ambiguity refers to the difficulty in defining the internet activity that is more clearly delineated in the physical world. Frequently, each partner in a relationship has a different definition of what is meant to be unfaithful online. Without an agreement between the partners, it is easier for one or both to cross the line in cyberspace than in the real world. Nevertheless, if your partner feels you desire another, your partner will feel betrayed as much as if you physically cheated on them. On the other hand, accommodation refers to the idea that some individuals would like to live differently than they do in the real world. Online, they can adopt a different identity. They can accommodate their need to act a certain way in the real world with the self they would really like to express. Now that we have an idea of what might be considered internet infidelity and the driving forces behind it, we come to the critical questions for couples. How can I protect my relationship from this? And is it possible to reconstruct our relationship if the trust has been destroyed? First, the best protection of the relationship is don't keep secrets from each other. Discuss any issues that arise and attempt to resolve them honestly. Second, establish boundaries for the internet use. Be friends on each other's social media page. Don't text people who may be temptations, such as former sweethearts, and avoid pornography. But what if the affair has occurred, and can the relationship be repaired? Depending on the couple, counseling is normally necessary to treat the effects of this betrayal. While there are no single couple therapy for internet infidelity, therapists include several basic themes. Initially, the couple must define what is and what is not acceptable to them regarding the internet use and interactions with others, and must develop physical and psychological boundaries concerning internet connections. To heal the relationship, the couple needs to learn to manage accountability, trust, and their emotions regarding the infidelity. As part of the learning, couples have to increase their understanding of why the internet betrayal occurred. The therapists evaluate each couple's particular situation and desire for change, the existence of special conditions, and how they can work toward forgiveness. As you decide the best course of action for your relationship, keep in mind these suggestions. First, if you are a victim of cyber cheating partner, have compassion for yourself, as Stacy Martino, a relationship coach, tells her clients. If you are in a shock and feel betrayed with your life unexpectedly turned upside down, you must feel sympathy and care for yourself. This is necessary to reach the next step. Ross Rosenberg, author of and therapist who specializes in sex addictions, adds that destroying trust can trigger prior emotional issues if they haven't been repaired. For example, if you felt abandoned or abused when you were young and haven't dealt with these feelings successfully, this betrayal of a loved one can trigger those buried issues, compounding the pain and accompanying emotions. It may be necessary to examine those issues when trying to repair your relationship. On the other hand, if you are the cyber cheater, you are accountable for your behavior online. Your relationship cannot be healed unless you acknowledge your misconduct. You need to own your actions without blaming others, according to Rosenberg. You need to acknowledge your responsibility and express sincere remorse and empathy for your partner. You are the one that crossed the line, betraying the trust of your partner. As a result, you must truly be sorry and feel sympathy for your partner to begin to rebuild the relationship. This process can be difficult for an individual who doesn't believe that the internet relationship constitutes infidelity. He or she might believe that because they never met online, it was not a true affair. This could be denial or it could be manipulation, according to Rosenberg. It signals a larger issue that needs professional intervention to repair the relationship. A therapist can assume a position of neutrality and explain that the internet relationship is hurtful to your partner and damaging to your relationship. Finally, the perpetrator of the internet infidelity must comprehend the trauma that it has caused. Discovering your partner has had an affair is traumatic. The pain caused by trauma doesn't dissipate overnight. This kind of trauma should not be underestimated. Even though the cheating was online, it's still a betrayal of trust. Suddenly, you are not the person your partner thought you were. How do you handle this kind of trauma? You need to fully comprehend what your partner experienced and offer a chance to heal. A therapist can help you through this process together. As a therapist, I also face dilemmas I must resolve to be effective. A therapist's view of infidelity and sexuality is naturally related to his or her value system. These beliefs and experiences can influence the therapeutic approach taken. The course of therapy chosen also depends partly on how the therapist views particular issues that are divisive, such as keeping secrets, the form of sessions, managing internet activities, and which details of an affair should be shared. As part of the assessment process, the therapist will probably reconsider beliefs and about the internet vulnerabilities, as well as the therapist's own values and positions on divisive issues, whether new information is presented. As clients, it is important to know the affiliations and the approach of the therapist you choose to determine if their values and approach are a match with your own values and goals for your relationship as a couple together. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I thank you and good night.